I'm 𝚁𝙀𝚃, your boyfriend's future wife. She screamed and violently ripped off the sleeve of your dress. You gasped and then held your breath for a second. You couldn't believe what just happened. You were frozen in shock, your sleeve still half attached to your dress and a terrified look in your eyes. You didn't know this woman, yet she insulted 3D you, calling you a WHR3. And with only one sentence she made your whole world crumble into a million pieces. YNW what? You whispered with a shaky voice and tried hard to hold your tears back. You weren't going to cry in front of her. 𝚁𝙀𝚃. Oh, so you didn't know, she said mockingly, a smug grin playing on her lips. YN. But I don't understand. You breathed, trying to get a grip of the situation. Was this woman lying to you because she was jealous? Or was she telling the truth and Jungkook only used you? But he seemed so sincere. Did he know about this engagement? Did he love her? 𝚁𝙀𝚃. Of course you don't understand. She spat, throwing 𝙿𝙸𝚃 glares at you. 𝚁𝙀𝚃. He was promised to me 10 years ago when our dads founded the companies. They wanted to unite the companies with our marriage. Now everything made sense. That's why his parents reacted so weirdly to you, and that's what his father wanted to talk to him about. Your hands were trembling when you desperately ran your fingers through your hair. What were you supposed to do now? You liked him so much, you could even imagine a future with him until you found out that he was already engaged. You felt so humiliated. You came here thinking you were his girlfriend, but the only thing you were was a side chick. You noticed how the tears built up behind your eyes and you seriously didn't want her to see you crying, so you just ran off. 𝚁𝙀𝚃. Yay, you better run, she yelled. You tried to leave as fast as you could in your heels, covering your face, embarrassed in your hands. The hot tears started streaming down your face and you didn't actually know where you were heading to. You just wanted to leave this place, so you kept running down the hallway until someone called out your name. YN. You heard a familiar voice to your side. You turned around and spotted Seo-jun through your blurred vision. Seo-jun. Oh God, what happened to you? She asked, worried, and quickly walked over to you, embracing you in her arms. YN. I don't. You stuttered, sobbing, but you couldn't make a proper sentence because of the sadness which was slowly taking over your body. Seo-jun. Shish, you don't need to explain, she reassured you, rubbing your back. Seo-jun. Is there anything I can do for you? YN. Is there any way out, like a back door? You asked, hoping her tears wouldn't overwhelm you. Seo-jun. Yes, I saw one where the staff to smoke. I can take you home if you want, she offered, and you gladly accepted, nodding. You didn't know what you would have done without Seo-jun. She didn't even ask any further questions until you told her the story while sobbing. You just wanted to go home, change and cry yourself to sleep. You couldn't deal with anything else. Seo-jun drove you home and even stayed overnight, helping you with everything, even though you insisted that she should go home. But she wouldn't let up, and eventually you were glad she was there for you. She cooked for you and made sure you weren't going to drown in your emotions. She bought lots of chocolates and ice cream for you to eat while watching a film. She even called in sick for you for at least the next 3 days. You couldn't face the people at work, let alone Jungkook. You didn't even know if you were ever going to return to work or just resign. But it was hard for you to not think about him. You felt like you still had some unfinished business even though it was clear there was no future for you. You didn't talk a single word to him since the company dinner. He had called you at least 10 times each day for the last 3 days and sent you twice as much messages till you blocked him. There was obviously something he really wanted to tell you, and the 𝚃𝙸𝙁𝚃 naive part in you was still hoping it was all a lie or a bad dream. But you couldn't hold on to this hope. It would slowly eat you up from inside. Wiped your tear-stained cheeks with the back of your hand hoping sleep would overwhelm you so you wouldn't have to feel anything at all. The ringing of the doorbell made you open your eyes again and shift in your position on the bed. You considered not even open the door at all because you were only dressed in your sweatpants and a hoodie and you weren't in the mood to talk to anyone. But something made you get up and walk to the door. You didn't bother to look through the spy hole to check who it is and opened the door to get over with it as soon as possible. 𝚁𝙸𝚂𝚗𝚃. You cursed underneath your breath as you realized who was standing in front of you. Your breath hitched as your eyes slowly traveled up his body, to his lips and then met his eyes. You felt a lump in your throat and gulped to not break down crying immediately. You wanted to close the door, but it was too late. You didn't break the eye contact and lost yourself in his dark orbs. But then you took a closer look at him. He had dark circles under his bloodshot eyes. He was wearing an oversized black shirt and black sweatpants. His eyes were filled with sadness and despair as if he was missing or longing for someone. He opened his mouth and closed it again, groaning, flipping his hair backwards before he spoke again. Jungkook. YN please. He pleaded in a low voice, taking a small step closer to you. Jungkook. Please don't push me away and listen. YN. You tried to speak but your voice broke. You sighed and bit down hardly on your lower lip to not burst into tears in front of him. Jungkook. Please YN. I know this looks so bad, but please. Let me explain. Don't send me away. He begged once more. YN. Why should I listen to you? Give me a reason. You asked quietly, on the verge of crying and couldn't hide your quivering lips. Jungkook. Do you remember how I told you to trust me? He asked and you nodded. Jungkook. Then you have to believe me when I tell you that I love you. You never knew how much power these 3 words held when the right person, the person you most care about, said them to you. They tore down all your walls and made you Sir 3ND3R in the blink of an eye. You started sobbing and threw your arms around his neck. He wrapped his arms tightly around your fragile figure and held you safely in his embrace. You buried your face into the crook of his neck and inhaled his familiar scent. For the first time in the past few days you had the feeling you could finally breathe again. You took a deep breath and let all your tears out. You couldn't care less. You were in his arms, protected from all harm. He hugged you tightly till your sobs slowly became less and less. You didn't want to let go yet, scared that this moment would be over too soon. But you also knew you had to sort out a lot of things and there was no way to avoid it. You slowly broke the hug and looked on the ground wiping your tears. "Jungkook, can I come in?" he asked and his voice cracked, giving away how emotional he was. Yes sure, you said, not making eye contact, and led him inside your apartment. You sat down on the couch in silence and stared in a random direction. You almost had to chuckle thinking about how you couldn't keep your hands off each other a few weeks ago and now you didn't know what to say. "Jungkook, baby," he said in an attempt to make you look at him, but you only pulled a face in pain when he called you names. "Jungkook, YN," he said more forward and moved closer to you. "Jungkook, please baby, look at me." You squirmed under his intense glance and still kept your head down. He raised his arm and put his hand under your chin to turn your head to him. He gave you a weak smile and wiped a tear off your lips that had run down your cheek. Subconsciously you parted your lips and fluttered your eyes shut because of his M4T3 gesture. You kept your eyes closed and perceived how he leaned forward until your lips met. He kissed you so carefully and lightly that you weren't even sure if your lips really touched or if it was an illusion. Another tear rolled down your cheek when you pulled away and opened your eyes.